Misinformation sometimes, which is coming from everybody. It's, no one has a monopoly on it. Or just power.
You're saying nobody
it's just
has a monopoly on it. Come on. That's some moral relativism right there.
I said nobody has a monopoly.
You said nobody has a monopoly on it, but that's like saying nobody has a monopoly on being a billionaire. He's got that monopoly up here. I mean, he's got more money than us. A lot more money than us. So,
I don't get the...
You don't get it?
I don't know what point you're making. The right thinks that the left is in a very different place with free speech than they have been before, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. This is arrogant. You don't punish somebody. It would be like if we stopped Henry Ford from making the cars.
Right. It's often frustrating how the woke left thinks the presidency is their birthright. The Trump derangement syndrome is now through the roof and is making all of us sick, Bill Maher included. Recently, Maher put MSNBC's Joe Scarborough on full blast for his ridiculous claims, and we have the full details. But before we begin, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. Now let's dive in.
The rubber meets the road, because this is important. He wanted to, this week, he's suing the 12-member commission, the California Coastal Commission. He launches his rockets from Vandenberg Space Force Base. We used to call it Air Force Base, but I guess now we're into Space Force time. He wanted the proposal to expand the number of launches. Okay, again, one of the most impressive companies, an American company. He wants a little more, give it to him. No. The commission, some bureaucrat, said, nope, and this is the reason why. Commissioner Carol Hart saying, we're dealing with a company, the head of which has aggressively injected himself into the presidential race and made it clear what his point of view is. Yes, because he lives in America, and he can do that.
The Democrats' hypocrisy is absolutely nauseating. We're talking about Elon Musk, one of the most innovative minds of our time. A man who's pushing humanity forward with electric cars, space exploration, AI, and brain implants. He's not just working for Democrats or Republicans, he's working for everyone. Yet somehow his political views have made him a target. Enter the Federal Aviation Administration, run by bureaucrats who probably have a framed Obama portrait in their offices. Musk requested approval to launch more rockets, something that directly benefits America's technological edge. But suddenly red tape. Suddenly delays. Suddenly concerns. Why? Because he dared to support Donald Trump. That's right. His sin wasn't violating regulations, it was wrongthink. And Bill Maher? He saw right through it. Musk is an American last time we checked and has the same rights as every other entrepreneur to pursue progress. But here's the real question. Why did Musk, a lifelong Democrat, flip sides? Because the party of science and innovation turned into the party of wokeness, censorship, and cancel culture. And Elon? He doesn't do leashes.
Right thinks that the left is in a very different place with free speech than they have been before, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. This is arrogant. You don't punish somebody. It would be like if we stopped Henry Ford from making the cars because we didn't like what
but can you take one anecdotal example? One idiot, right? Truly an idiot to stop.
This is not an idiot. This is someone with power.
An idiot with power is not unusual.
Okay, but that's... Right. Oh, but having power matters.
And once again, Bill Maher isn't wrong. The left is on a dangerous, slippery slope when it comes to free speech. Their insatiable need to control, censor, and police speech isn't just alarming. It's downright authoritarian. They don't want debate. They don't want disagreement. They want obedience. And that's why Elon Musk is public enemy number one. He's not just another billionaire. He's a billionaire who refuses to kneel. A billionaire who bought Twitter and shattered their narrative stronghold. It used to be that the right was accused of being anti-free speech. But what the modern left is doing, that would have the founding fathers clawing their way out of their graves in sheer horror. These were men who fought against tyranny and government overreach, only for today's so-called progressives to embrace the very thing America was founded to oppose. Censorship isn't progress. Silencing dissent isn't democracy. And when even a lifelong liberal like Maher is calling them out, you know they've gone way too far. But here's where it all gets interesting.
Information sometimes, which is coming from everybody. It's, no one has a monopoly on it. Or just power.
You're saying nobody
it's just
has
power.
A monopoly on it. Come on. That's some moral relativism right there.
I said nobody has a monopoly.
You said nobody has a monopoly on it, but that's like saying nobody has a monopoly on being a billionaire. He's got that monopoly up here. I mean, he's got more money than us. A lot more money than us. So,
don't get the.
You don't get it?
I don't know what point you're making.
Exactly. I'm struggling to understand Joe Scarborough's point, if there ever was one. But am I surprised? Not in the slightest. Because that's the woke left's entire playbook. Talk in circles, throw out big words, and hope nobody notices the contradictions. So, Scarborough, MSNBC's resident serious thinker, claims the right has a monopoly on misinformation. Bold statement. But when Bill Maher challenged him, Scarborough's big game-changing example was Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban? Sure, Cuban was the richest guy on that panel, but does that give him some exclusive VIP pass to wealth? America's got plenty of billionaires. More than I can count on my 2 hands and feet combined. So, like Maher, I have no idea what Scarborough was even trying to argue. And let's be honest, misinformation exists on both sides. No party, no ideology, no media outlet is pure as the driven snow. But pretending your side is a beacon of truth while the other is a cesspool of lies? That's not just disingenuous, it's peak hypocrisy. And that is Scarborough's real specialty.
It's both sides, isn't it?
Well,
there is no doubt.
There's no misinformation.
There's some disinformation from the left, but comparing it to what Donald Trump spews out every day, every week, comparing it to what Elon Musk is spewing out, unfortunately, on X, you sound like Brett Stevens now, with all due respect. It's a joke. That's a real-time.
And you sound like him, who looks like Rachel Maddow.
This is hypocrisy at its finest. MSNBC, the self-proclaimed beacon of truth, wants you to believe that Donald Trump and Elon Musk have a monopoly on disinformation, because of course the woke media never, ever lies, right? Remember when they insisted Hunter Biden's laptop was just Russian disinformation? They pushed that narrative so hard you'd think they had the FBI on speed dial. Turns out it was real. But by the time they admitted it, the damage was done, and the truth was conveniently buried under layers of media spin. Then there was the Steele dossier. They hyped it up like the holy grail of Trump-Russia collusion. They swore by it, dissected it, and turned it into primetime news. Then it crumbled, debunked. But did MSNBC apologize? Of course not. They just moved on to the next narrative. And let's not forget how they mocked the COVID lab leak theory, calling it a wild conspiracy and ridiculing anyone who questioned the official story, until intelligence agencies started taking it seriously. Then suddenly MSNBC had amnesia. But sure, tell me again how only Trump and Musk have a monopoly on disinformation, when we have countless examples of MSNBC spreading it themselves. Now here's where it gets interesting. MSNBC has a house policy of portraying itself as the ultimate guardian of truth, even when reality says otherwise. And here we go again. Another MSNBC host, John Heilemann, pushed the same tired narrative, until Russell Brand called him out.
I've not known you long, but I love you already. But I have to say that it's disingenuous to claim that the biases that are exhibited on Fox News are any different from the biases exhibited on MSNBC. It's difficult to suggest that these corporations operate as anything other than mouthpieces for their affiliate owners in BlackRock and Vanguard. And unless we start to embrace, and also, mate, like just spiritually, if I may use that word in your great country, we have to take responsibility for our own perspective.
This Trump and probably Elon Musk derangement syndrome isn't just random hysteria. It's a well-oiled machine, carefully designed to make them public enemy number one. The goal? Strip them of influence, turn them into villains, and make sure the masses see them as dangerous. Remember when Musk made a simple gesture, and the media instantly twisted it into a Nazi salute? No context. No benefit of the doubt. Just full-blown outrage. Or how about the endless comparisons between Trump and Hitler? Every speech, every policy, every move he made, some journalist was right there to declare, this is how Hitler started. It's a strategy. Woke media outlets aren't just reporting the news, they're running a full-scale propaganda campaign. They cherry-pick, distort, and fabricate narratives to keep Trump and Musk in a constant state of public trial. And if facts get in the way, they'll just move the goalpost. The mission is clear. Derail the MAGA train, silence opposition, and push their own political agenda. Truth be damned.
But I also think at the same time, there is a message of what I would call like common sense, patriotic pluralism. Yeah. That is a majority message, which is like, if some father and mother have health care for their kid lined up who's trans, just stay the fuck out of their business. Like, and let them make that decision. That's their decision to make. And you don't have to make that for your family. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your family.
But the argument is whether the child should make the decision.
But the child is never making the decision. The parents are always making the decision. Parents consent to medical care.
Well, here in California, you're allowed to hide it from the parents if the kid is.
Yes.
Thank you, one person who knows that.
But I mean,
somebody knows that is the case.
Another classic case of misinformation. It's no secret, widespread knowledge, in fact, that some schools have been actively colluding with kids to hide their gender transitions from their parents. Documents, whistleblowers, lawsuits, it's all out there. Yet here comes Chris Hayes of MSNBC, straight-faced, telling us that's just a right-wing conspiracy. And we're supposed to believe MSNBC isn't biased? Really? Joe Scarborough and his crew will sit there with smug grins, pretending their network is the gold standard of truth, all while ignoring actual reports, dismissing parents' concerns, and gaslighting anyone who dares question the narrative. This is how the game works. The media doesn't just lie, they rewrite reality. If the facts don't fit their agenda, they simply declare them false. And if you challenge them, you're labeled a bigot, a conspiracy theorist, or worse. That's the playbook. And they run it every single time. Interestingly, many people have noticed MSNBC's bias and are calling them out for it. Watch this.
You know what would be good at MSNBC is if you actually did think about both sides and weighed the arguments and made constructive arguments against that side while respecting them. You don't do that. It's propaganda all the time.
What you just said,
and by denying any...
What you just said just described my show. It's like I had a Trump lawyer on this week. I've had Steve Bannon on my show. I've had Trump White House officials.
I watch MSNBC.
Right, so you describing a goal that I'm achieving, I take that as a...
I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted by MSNBC's go-to defense. We have conservatives on our show. As if trotting out a token right-wing guest every now and then somehow makes them fair and balanced. That's not the issue. The issue is whether they report facts, not just carefully curated narratives that fit their agenda. And let's be honest, we all know how this works. They invite a so-called conservative voice, but only the ones willing to play ball. The moment someone actually challenges their narrative, the meltdown begins. Just look at the clip we just watched. Andrew Sullivan absolutely tearing into the MSNBC host for pushing propaganda instead of real journalism. He wasn't having it. MSNBC doesn't want real debate. They want controlled opposition. They want guests who nod along, not ones who expose their bias. When someone actually holds their feet to the fire, they either get drowned out, smeared, or never invited back. It's not about discussion. It's about maintaining the illusion of balance while ensuring their narrative remains untouched.
I think to sit within the castle of MSNBC throwing rocks at Fox News is ludicrous.
My friend,
make MSNBC better. Make MSNBC great again.
My friend, I would. The moment.
Fight them on a territory you can win on, Joe.
Russell, darling.
If MSNBC ever wants to be taken seriously again, it needs to climb down from its high horse and drop the holier-than-thou act. Pretending to be the beacon of truth, while conveniently ignoring its own track record of misinformation, isn't fooling anyone. The first step: own up to the propaganda they've pushed in the past. But acknowledgement isn't enough. MSNBC needs to ditch the partisan spin and embrace actual journalism, where both sides get a fair shot, not just the voices that align with their agenda. That means holding all leaders accountable, not just Republicans. They shouldn't suddenly find their moral compass only when Trump is in power, then go radio silent the moment Democrats take over. If they truly believe in democracy, they'll challenge both sides with the same intensity. Anything less? They're just another mouthpiece, not a news network. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.